All right, well, emergency management officials have been working around the clock to brace for any damage caused by those high winds and relentless rain.
Absolutely. Here to give us an update on where things stand right now in the city is New York's Emergency Management Commissioner Zach Iscol. Commissioner, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We know you are certainly busy. We have been keeping an eye, of course, on these low-lying areas, like, say, for instance, Red Hook. How are they doing this morning, especially as you consider the high tide that took place overnight?
Yes, first off, thanks for having me on. And I just also want to start by saying thank you to all the crews and the teams and the city workers that have been working through this long weekend, preparing the city, getting us ready for this event. So this event, really three main threats. There's the prolonged rain, which is creating, more, the ground is now wetter. That, coupled to the high winds, are going to lead to a lot of downed trees and branches across the city. And then we have this coastal flooding in a lot of the low-lying areas of the city, parts of Jamaica Bay, New York Harbor, and then also the western reaches of Long Island, with a lot of water getting pushed into those areas. And this event is across 3 tide cycles. We've done 2 of them. We have one more high tide, the biggest of them, later this afternoon. That's when there's a potential for some major flooding.
Well, you mentioned coastal areas. We've got Battery Park City, Coney Island. They are prone to damage during these types of storms. What are we looking at today with those?
Yeah, so the tide cycle is going to be later this afternoon for the next high tide cycle. We just went through the second of the 3 for this storm. But the National Weather Service, who we've been in close contact with, is saying that there is a low chance, which is a chance of major flooding. So we'll probably have some moderate flooding out there, so people need to be aware of that and adjust their plans accordingly.
Okay, but no damage reported so far this morning.
So far, we've had some reports of downed trees, but that's really it so far across the city. There's some ponding on different roadways, but nothing too significant at this point.
Right. With that third high tide cycle in play later today, we're obviously looking at high flood-prone areas, roadways like the FDR, the Bronx River Parkway. Are there any protections put in place for those folks, considering what we could see later today?
Yeah, so the city's done a lot of work since Sandy to build resiliency projects in a lot of these low-lying areas. We've had interim flood protection measures out there as well. A lot of work that we've been doing with public communication. And then going into this event, we have life safety crews from NYPD and FDNY staged around the city with high-axle vehicles. We have tow trucks to get vehicles out of flooded roadways. A lot of work with our infrastructure partners to make sure we're clearing catch basins, ensuring the infrastructure is ready to handle this amount of water, rain, coastal flooding. So a lot of work there, and then also with our utility partners.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the wind, you've got some reports they're trickling in of downed trees and that type of thing. The power crew is obviously standing by, ready to deal with all of that.
Yeah, and it's incredible. We have our Parks Department and our Sanitation Department that can go out there, remove down trees. They work in conjunction with Con Ed, PSE&G, who have extra crews out there that can immediately respond to any down power lines and help restore power around the city.
So we did report that the Columbus Day Parade is canceled. We know it was not an easy decision. Did your team kind of weigh in on making that final call?
So this was a decision that was made by the event organizers. It's obviously not an easy one to make. The right call, right? We don't want people traveling into the city. We do have those damaging winds. We have the coastal flooding. Not a day people should be commuting into the city. But also at the same time, I think there are a lot of ways of celebrating Italian-American heritage. I will be talking to my kids about my grandpa Lou, who fought his way across Europe, and talking to them about his stories. So I hope that people will take this chance to share those stories with their families. And I know a lot of programs across the city will be celebrating Italian-American heritage today.
Yeah, now we should point out, folks, that there is a state of emergency because of this storm right now. When do you think that state of emergency is going to be lifted?
I actually don't know the exact timeline of it for New York State, but I imagine it will be probably later today or sometime tomorrow. My best guess is probably tomorrow once we're through this event.
What do you think is the biggest threat right now for New Yorkers with the storm impacts?
So it's a great question. It really depends on where you are. I think in some parts of the city, it's really just going to be an inconvenience. But if you're living in those low-lying areas that are subjected, especially in and around Jamaica Bay, the Rockaways, parts of Staten Island, parts of Brooklyn, that coastal flooding is very significant, and you need to take that seriously. And also these high winds, right? Those high winds can lead to down trees, that can lead to down power lines. These are very dangerous situations and things people need to be taking seriously.
Not out of the woods yet. No. All right, Commissioner, thank you so much. Commissioner Iscol, thanks for stopping by and updating us this morning on this storm. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you guys for having me on. It's great to be with you.
And of course, our coverage does continue right here. We'll have live team coverage throughout this morning as this nor'easter moves through. And of course, for up-to-the-minute weather coverage, stay with us here on air, online at PIX11.com, and streaming on PIX11 Plus.